Watching my husband go through that experience was, it was life-changing for me as well. Together, though, as a couple, we want to inform men, their wives, and the community about what you can do to improve men's health and to help those who are recovering from some of the silent killers that are attacking our communities. Joining us is Gail Bussell. Her husband also experienced heart surgery due to heart disease. Now, we're going to hear from him a little bit later, but let's talk about how these health crises affect the wives or women as well. So first of all, I have my husband here, Gail. I'm so glad that he is co-hosting with me.
Thank you.
And I'm really proud of you that you are willing to share what happened to you so that our communities and men can begin to heal. I appreciate that so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, wonderful. Gail, now I know that, my God, when I went through this, I don't even know how I was walking. It was just stuff that was going on. And when I listen to that, my heart goes back to that time. And I know that you went through some of this. Tell me three things, just three things that perhaps just really a woman, if she's going through it right now, which we know somebody is going through it right now, right, or somebody who's going to go through it. Tell me three things that you want to talk to that sister about.
Well, first, I would just like to say be there. And under being there is you need to be there emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Emotionally, you cannot have a breakdown or a meltdown yourself. This is the time for you to remain strong because your spouse is already going through something, and and him being the head, he feels something is already taken away from him. So at this time, you need to be strong.
So in other words, don't come in with the crying, and we don't need that right now.
This is not the time for the
for
tears and the breakdowns. It's not time for that. It's not about me, right now.
Okay.
And then physically, when I say be there physically, he's going to need you to take him to the doctor. I had the opportunity to go to the doctor appointments, with my husband. So being there, hearing the doctor tell him what's going to take place, even in the midst of the surgery, what he's going to need to do after the surgery. So, physically, being there, making sure that physically being in the home, is some things that you're going to have to cut out of your schedule once he returns home, that you need to be there.
So in other words, we have our wifey duties.
Yes.
But the house changes when this happens.
Yes.
So what are you saying to me physically? Am I going to have to drive him somewhere? What's going to happen?
Physically, you're going to have to do some driving. You're going to have to take him some places, to the doctor, for the appointments. And physically, you have to be there because sometimes you may just sit down and he may need you to get something for him.
Can I ask you a question, Gail?
Yes.
In the middle of that, because it gets deeper than that. I know my wife, she's being nice because, and I tell people, I couldn't even bathe myself. So the role of the wife, as far as I'm concerned, is much deeper than even making the doctor's appointments and those types of things. So kind of describe, your experience from even that perspective.
The changing of bandages, just helping with that process. It's like you're a nurse, at home. You may not have the credentials, but at the same time helping with that process, him, getting the tape, cutting the tape, checking the back.
That's good, because girl, I had my nurse hat on. I was like, I was Ms.Deborah. You understand what I'm saying? Because as a wife, you're gonna have to be whatever
it takes.
You
chef, making the change with the
Absolutely.
meals.
We got to go right to this tape. I'm just so glad that you could share this with us.
But I want to take this time and kind of make this like a halftime locker room talk to the men. What I went through was a real wake-up call. I had a lot of time to think about my life, and I came away thinking how much life is like a sports event. In my mind, life has 4 quarters just like a game. 0 to 18 is the first quarter. 19 to 35 is the second quarter, 36 to 55 is the third quarter, and over 55 in my mind is the fourth quarter. I now realize that I'm in the fourth quarter of my life. And if I want to play the last quarter of my life, I have to play it much smarter than I may have played the first half of this game called life. Listen and observe the game film we're presenting to you today. Do yourself a favor. In fact, do you and your family a favor today and try to take something away from this show. Don't discount it. I want you to be a winner in your game of life. Hear the mistakes we've made and learn from them so you can cross the finish line. And remember, in this game, we have to have more common sense than we had before. We have to show up for the game in shape. We got to be fit. We got to eat better. Got to exercise and get rid of the bad habits and see your doctor regularly. He's the coach in this thing. He will get us to hit the field for the second half, for the final quarter in the best shape we can. And if we commit to this, we just might get a chance to play some more of the game. But remember, this whole thing is about us as men. We have to go about using more common sense than we did before.
When we come back, we'll hear from a cardiologist and a nurse as we talk about halftime for men's health. Sit your father or your husband down in front of the TV right now. This is serious because we are going to deal with some real issues that will come right up in your home.